So pretend you're this guy and you've got important things to get done. Do the self-care you need, work on your personal project, keep up the hot streak that you've been on honestly a roll with of what's good for you. But then whether you woke up feeling different or you caved into the activity that makes you relapse, especially after a long day or a week of work, your streak plateaus and then declines as you fall back into the comfortable, instantly gratifying things that suck up your time instead. You sleep in and hit snooze, you binge a whole season of a show, you slip back into the rabbit hole of social media instead of doing the work that's waiting for it to be done. You feel disappointment in yourself because you know it's not what you should be doing, and you're setting yourself up for more stress, and get to the point where it's like you've convinced yourself that almost like you're sick and struggle to even go to the bathroom. Whether you maybe do or don't have to pretend that you're this guy right now, we've all been this guy. But here's the thing, if we can change our perspective on procrastination, we can improve our relationship with it. Because the real underlying issue with all this is how intentional we are with our actions and staying conscious with them. So in this video, I'll be going over some ways that we can intentionalize our procrastination. But you can't intentionalize it if you aren't presently aware of it. So I'm sure at some point in your life, someone's probably told you to focus on your breathing at some point. So then for the next minute or two or however long you need it, and remember, you consciously control your breathing until it becomes subconscious again and it goes on autopilot. Sorry to do that to you now. I know it's annoying, but when we are unintentionally procrastinating, it can be just as natural as this. So to fight this, one, knowing this in the first place will help you know and recognize that this happens. But secondly, you need a physically or noticeably controllable thing or reminder to help you wake up. Or maybe you're awake, but you're just feeling like you don't want to put the effort in. Either way, it comes down to snapping yourself out of the focus by interrupting it. Maybe it's controlling your breathing, paying attention to your blinking, pausing the show or activity for a second, or something else like taking a moment to just observe your surroundings. Tasking yourself with something simple physically will help you snap out of it. All right, so the beginning issue that builds up that I don't think we ever really think about when we procrastinate is that it's having the opposite effect to our momentum. It's almost like the universe has a rule baked into it. The things that we do push our motivation ball either forwards or backwards. A positive do something principle, which is very common and I know you've probably heard of, but also the negative do something principle. Once you start slowing your ball of momentum down by doing something less intentional, it's only easier to continue to be less intentional because the ball is already rolling in that direction. And then next thing you know, it's rapidly rolling backwards. And then the hill that it's rolling on, which I like to think of as the intention behind what we do, the things that we're doing is either making the hill more intentional or more passive. I'm pretty sure any stockbroker will tell you that if you can control your losses, you're golden. That ball of momentum that we always have rolling, it's not the ball that we're changing, it's the hill that we're changing. And when we change the hill, we change the speed of it as well as the direction. So just know that it's changing speed and changing direction based on what you do. Your relationship with procrastination is something that you've learned that's been constantly evolving ever since you had your first chore when mom made you eat your veggies or whatever you cried about doing back then. And then naturally we discover how uncomfortable but good it is for us to do what we don't typically want to do, which is do the work. And then as we grow older, we know better, but the primal part of our brain still throws tantrums sometimes and lashes out. But this doesn't mean that you can't change or relearn it in a different way based upon the context that we tell ourselves from our experiences, because the fundamental fact is that we feel based upon the actions and evidence for our actions we have and have been adapted to become used to and expect as a result. You know, it's very easy to be against yourself than on your own side when it comes to the feelings of procrastination. A thought that's been helping me with the jagged feelings of this is assuming that you suck, because our ego has us feeling and inflating so much more than what we're capable of. And even if we are capable, you're going to be a lot happier if you learn to manage your expectations of yourself to be on your side. Assuming that you suck doesn't mean that you're hard on yourself or lowering your turnout rate standards of your work or whatever it is. It's just more underestimating than overestimating yourself, and realize that you're always learning, you're a student. And this mindset really helps you see things a lot more objectively than expectationally. Plus, you're gonna feel a lot better about yourself when you get the work that you need to done. Or as I'm gonna be going over in a second, the tweaks we can make when we procrastinate. It might be better to think of yourself as a 5-year-old in an attitude sense. When you skip the gym next time, instead of talking to yourself like, damn bro, you are a bum, you're a loser, you're lazy, change your self-talk to, hey, it's okay, it happens. No worries. We'll try again tomorrow. If someone else were to talk to you in the second tone, you'd be a lot more likely to do it. People need encouragement, including yourself. So the main idea that would change the way you think of your procrastination, it's almost insulting and so simple that you might click off. But hear me out after, it's not what you're thinking when you hear it. If we can change how we're procrastinating and what we're doing while we do it, we can already start having and building the sparks of momentum and be on the path to already getting back out of our rut. What I'm really just asking you to do is change what you see and minorly focus on during your procrastination. And you can even see those moments when you're scrolling on your phone to be good, because again, the real issue is how intentional are you with what you're doing or procrastinating. The problem is that we go into this passive state. The more intent and awareness that you have of what you're doing, the more that you can twist it around to be productive and generate that motivation that we need to get the sparks really going and get us out of that rut. So what does this actually look like? Haven't taken a break? Go on your phone on purpose and have regulations like a 5-minute timer. Do it intentionally to get it out of your mind. And that in itself, that's giving you a lot more momentum and control than you would have had before. When you tell yourself one more game, what did you actually played? Only one more game. If you find yourself stuck scrolling, count down how many more posts you can go through, like 5 or 10, and keep a track of it. And then push yourself to start doing something else now that you've done it. Preferably something constructive like brushing your teeth or doing your laundry. Counting down from 3 or limiting myself with a timer is what I do. You're giving yourself a reward, and not only that, but you're telling yourself that you're the type of person that does rewards with intention. If you're gonna enjoy yourself, at least don't half-ass it and ruin it. Knowing that you're doing it on purpose will help remove the pressure of knowing that you're not doing what you're supposed to be. Making these changes will allow you to have intentional momentum with your procrastination and give yourself control. I can't stress how important this is. I'm not saying to run away with it and use it intentionally as an excuse to let yourself get away with more and interrupt your work. Intentional procrastination, of course, doesn't mean that it can replace the real work that needs to be done. Like, just be smart about it, limit it. Just know that in intentional increments, it can be a tool that we can use to control the direction that we head in. Setting yourself up with light punishments if you break your own rules, or if you have a habit of doing something when you procrastinate that just hooks you in way too much and is your kryptonite. Getting rid of it or making it 10 times harder to do may be your only option. Experiment on yourself from the outside, almost like you're watching a monkey at a zoo. This whole idea still requires that you're able to govern your emotions and your thoughts. Setting yourself up in ways to have the momentum and control is something that we can continually work on. The goal of this is to help you get and convince yourself to get to that next action, whether it's something constructive like brushing your teeth or actually doing the main thing that you're avoiding. Think about how often and intentional you can be, and when you find yourself falling off course and into the passive state, be conscious and aware about it, be on your own side about it, and make it as intentional as you can. There's always an amount of purpose behind what you do. Make sure that you're measuring it. I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a comment on any ways that have been helping you with your relationship and ideas to procrastination. I would love to see them. Subscribe if you found this video helpful and hopefully a little entertaining. Much more to come. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.